Welcome to the Man Cave Media Network and the Down East Prep Report with Chris Miller, brought to you by Marine Federal Credit Union. I'm your host, Steve Goodson, and along with Chris, we're joined this week by special guest Kevin Teal, senior quarterback at Swansboro High School, and head coach Rodney Beasley. Fellas, thank you for joining us today.
No problem. Of course.
We'll start by recapping last week's slate of high school action, and then we'll talk to Kevin about his football journey and Swansboro football, and then we'll talk to Coach Beasley a little bit about Kevin, and then we'll roll into Chris's breakdown of this week's matchup and, of course, his official predictions. Friday Night Lights are coming. It's local football, and it's all right here on the Down East Prep Report. And again, we want to thank our show sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union. At Marine Federal, you're more than just a member. You're part of a community. With personalized service, competitive rates, and a commitment to your goals, Marine Federal is here to help you thrive every step of the way. Visit marinefederal.org to learn more and discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. So we're going to kick things off, and first thing I want to do is I want to apologize because folks may see at the bottom of the screen a dog. I don't have much control over that right now because my wife is working and she was unable to come home today, and so Millie has got a a Kong with peanut butter, and she's loving life. Chris, if you take the Kong and throw it back out of the way, she may go over there. So she may not like you, but she may do that. There you go.
I don't think I like my left hand right now.
So anyway, all right, let's get started. Sorry about that, guys. So to kick things off, we're going to start with our Player of the Week, and our Player of the Week is brought to you by Jason Humphrey and the fine folks at Down East Heating and Air Conditioning. And this week's Player of the Week is Gavin Davis, junior wide receiver from Northside High School. Northside 50-39 over Dixon. That was our game of the week last week. Gavin had 9 catches, 133 receiving yards, 37 yards, a 37-yard TD reception, and an 11-yard run. Coach, y'all got them next week, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Not that you needed to know this, but he's a pretty good player, right?
He's on the scouting report.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Earlier this season, Gavin set a school all-time reception record and also set a program record with 12 catches in a game, and that game was against Jacksonville High School. So you want to talk a little bit about him, and please speak into the mic.
Yeah, great kid. If you look at him, I mean, he doesn't pass the bus test. I mean, he's 5'7" and 130 pounds, 140 pounds. So, but probably plays with the most heart on that football team. So, Coach, I know you guys are fully aware of this young man and all the other teammates that he has. So, but Coach Pollock from Northside, has said multiple times if Gavin was a little bit taller and a little bit bigger, he'd have Division I programs, fighting all over him. But but again, I mean, take nothing from him. I mean, he's a small guy, but he plays with a lot of heart. Yeah,
and we're going to get into it a little bit when we talk to Kevin and when we talk to Coach. But this year, I think it's been kind of interesting. From years past, we have got a lot of really good quarterbacks in our area and a lot of really good wide receivers. And, of course, Kevin, you're one of those. I don't, being born and raised here, growing up here, watching you coming back here and working, being here for 30-plus years, I just don't remember the quality of quarterbacks in the area like years past. Am I wrong? Or, I mean, am I getting old and I'm forgetting or what?
Well, I think first of all, I think the coaches and the quarterbacks have worked really hard to get to where they are. That's number one. And Coach, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's a byproduct of what we're seeing now in college level and at the NFL level. I mean, it's football is a copycat sport. I mean, and you're seeing a lot of passing in the NFL and college, and a lot more here at the local level and the high school level. Whereas 10, 15, 20 years ago, you might have seen Jacksonville throw the ball 3 times. Yeah. Or Swansboro throw the ball just a couple times. But now everybody's kind of airing it out, and even Lejeune is throwing the ball. So, again, I think it may be a byproduct of kind of what we're seeing out of the higher levels, but it could be wrong too.
Thoughts, Coach?
Well, I think it's a testimony to what these guys have been doing in their off time. I agree with you, Chris. We had a lot of involvement this year in different things like these 7-on-7s and stuff were really big for us this year across the board, not just Swansboro, across the board, because every event I went to, you see familiar faces in Northside and, the Jacksonvilles and stuff like that. And these guys also joined, there's a new program, OTS, where they were out throwing the ball as a 7-on-7 league, and that helped us out a lot because we as coaches couldn't be involved in it, but we got to see our players doing their thing. And I think that will tie in directly to that setup because there's no run game in the 7-on-7 world, right? So when we're in off season, really all we can do with no contact is pass that thing around. So I think it's a byproduct of that as well, with the kids buying in and on their free time and extra time getting together and taking that initiative to just go and throw on their own without coach supervision or drive. So
that's awesome.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's huge, and it makes a difference. I mean, it makes a big difference.
And I was going to ask Kevin, do you? And I asked a couple of the other guys this a couple weeks ago. Do you, if you have a good game, do you text like Cannon from Croatan? Hey, dude, how many yards did you throw for? Or I mean, do y'all kind of communicate through social media?
You're stealing my thunder. That's one of my questions, but that's all right. Go ahead and ask him. That's all right.
To be honest, I really don't have any connections with anybody else in our conference, really. But if I did have somebody, slight connection would probably be with Tanner from West, but we don't really talk much. But
okay, yeah. But do you? I'm sure you're on social media and you see what and you see what they're doing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm proud of them at the same time because they're balling out, especially like Cannon, not playing quarterback last year and then coming and doing really good things. But it's also like, I'm a competer, and I'm like, I got to do better than that.
Stop! I'm going to ask you some questions about that. So we will get there. We will get there. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, again, Gavin Davis, congratulations, Player of the Week, the Down East Heating and Air Player of the Week. So brought to you again by Jason Humphrey and Down East Heating and Air Conditioning. Down East Heating and Air Conditioning, a family tradition of quality since 1986, with locations in Jacksonville, Wilmington, and North Myrtle Beach. Down East Heating is the #1 Bryant dealer of the Carolinas. Home, office, garage, man cave, and yes, even a basement here. Down East has the perfect system to help you stay comfortable during the football season. Head over to downeastheating.com and let Down East put their talents to work for you. All right, so we're going to share screen now, and let's hope we got this working properly. There we go. So we're morphing into last week's games, and this is actually on the wrong screen, so we're looking at predictions, so my bad about that. Let me see if we can and Coach, I hope you didn't see that too well, but that's all right. But anyway, last week, Northside 50, Dixon 39. We talked about that. Northside stayed unbeaten in conference play behind Reginald Gray's 4 touchdowns. Knight and Gavin Davis's all-around heroic, outlasting Dixon in a back-and-forth shootout.
Yeah. What a game! I mean, Dixon and Coach, y'all have y'all played Dixon yet?
Oh, yeah, we played.
Yeah, so I mean that offense, like we said before, is unique and it's hard to stop. And I think Northside realized just how difficult that offense is, and I think people realize that Dixon is no slouch. That Dixon is as good as advertised, and just a couple points away from maybe being 7-1. But Northside, I figured Northside having more athletes on their team that would help them prevail. But it hasn't been easy for the Monarchs in their first 3 conference games. They beat Croatan by 2.
And they got behind against West Carteret and had to come back.
And then we're down halftime by 8 against Dixon.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been easy. So
Coach, jump out on them early, man. How about
that's always
that's exactly right. Jacksonville 28, South Central 7. Jacksonville early air attack set the tone as Anthony Washington threw 2 first-quarter touchdowns, and Amari Pearson powered the ground game to keep the Cardinals undefeated. He did throw 3 interceptions, though, didn't he? Or they threw 3 interceptions, correct?
Kind of just a grinded-out type of win for Jacksonville, which I kind of thought it would be. I mean, South Central is not a terrible team. They're pretty decent. They just have played some tough teams and lost 5 in a row. But they got off to an early lead, a couple touchdown passes, and then probably took the foot off the gas, let South Central stay in the game, and like I said, kind of a grinded-out win. But, a win's a win, and we'll see how the Cardinals do this week against Conley.
All right. East Duplin 20, Clinton 13. Dwayne Davis turned defense into destiny, capping an East Duplin comeback with a 56-yard game winner. as the Panthers stunned Clinton late. Southwest 21, Trask 14. Jaquil Howard's fourth quarter score gave first-year coach Zach Garvey his first win as Southwest battled through back-to-back fourth grind at Trask. And, Coach, you know that first win, right, man?
Yeah, I'm so happy for Coach Garvey. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
And, getting that first win is great, but also I know the passion and time and effort he's put into, what you can call it what it is, a rebuild, right? Because he's got to rebuild from a legacy that was there before him. So I was so proud. I reached out to him, congratulated him on that win because I know what that means in that first year as head coach. So I'm super excited for that program and more for him as well because, getting over that hump is huge.
Yeah, that's awesome. J.H. Rose, 44, White Oak, 22. White Oak started strong, but J.H. Rose's firepower was too much as the Rampants rallied for 44 unanswered points to take control with the Biggies. Coach Bird, what are you doing? I'm just messing. Coach Bird and I are good friends. So that's kind of been opposite what White Oak's done in the last several games. They've started out slow, and then second half they've been like kicking onside kicks the whole second half to catch up. This game they got out early, but just couldn't. Yeah, but Rose was too much.
They were up 16-0, and then it looks like White Oak is gonna maybe kind of get off that hump. And like you said, Rose scored 44 straight points to take a 44-16 lead. And look, White Oak doesn't give up, and those guys continue to play hard. They knew going into the season that playing in this new conference was going to be tough, and but they continue to play hard. And they're not getting. You look at the score; they lost by 3 touchdowns, but they're holding their own at times.
Yeah. West Carteret 34, Richlands 21. Despite 2 kickoff return for touchdowns from Richlands, West Carteret stayed steady and took care of business in a key Coastal 5-6 matchup. Have y'all played Richlands? Yeah,
we have not. Richlands is our last game, Halloween game.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, they've got pretty good special teams. So, that accounted for 14 of their, 2 touchdowns. Havelock 50, Swansboro 14. Sorry to do that to you guys. Swansboro showed flashes through the air, but Havelock's high-powered offense overwhelmed the Pirates in another 5-6 blowout. Lejeune 21, Jones 0 behind Jackson alters 2 touchdown performance. Lejeune and Coach, how do you pronounce that last name? Say it.
I just said
Coach C.
Yeah, Coach
How about
C.
that? Coach C.
Casu.
Yeah, notched their first win with a dominant shutout over Jones, and I'm real happy for Lejeune. We've talked about it. They they're happy to be playing, and with everything going on, and that was going to be whoever won that game was going to get their first win. And the struggles of Jones Senior over just. Has been documented over the years from having to stop the program playing eight man. They just don't have the students, the manpower, to be there. And so that was, that's one of those things I never wish everybody gets a trophy, but I hope Jones can beat somebody this week or moving forward because I'm really happy for them. I'm happy for Lejeune. I'm hoping that can move forward with that one. So anyway, all right, let's go to your rapid fire section. Millie, you're going to sit right there. Okay, you're going to be right in the middle of the screen. So here we go, Chris. And guys, y'all are more than welcome to chime in on any of this. Right. Was this Northside's most complete offensive game of the year?
Well,
remember rapid fire. Yes or no?
No.
No. What was their most complete game then?
I would say other previous games.
Other previous games. Okay. How long did J.J. Galat sit in the ice bath after 38 carries Friday night?
Well, I'm sure he enjoys his weekend and probably doesn't move a muscle during the weekend.
Okay. Bigger story: Northside's clutch finish or Dixon's refusing to fold?
I would say Dixon showing how good they really are.
My brother, my niece, his daughter cheers for Northside. He's been to every Northside game. He told me that out of the games he's seen Northside play, now he hasn't seen he hasn't seen you guys play yet. He hadn't seen White Oak. He went to White Oak like me. He hadn't been to a White Oak game. Well, no, he did go to White Oak Northside. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so he's seen whoever Northside's played. How about that? He said that he thought Dixon to this point was the most disciplined, well-coached team. Mm-hmm. that he's seen. He was an old, big, fat offensive lineman like me, a little less fat. He played linebacker on defense, but been around, football at the collegiate level as well. He said he just thought the Dixon team was really well coached.
Well, if you look at the way Dixon organizes their huddle, the way they get
That's
up to the line,
that's what he said. He said tight huddle when they come to the line. It's like it's
like the '70s Cowboys.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
and it takes. I mean, and Coach, you can probably second this. It takes a lot for high school kids to buy into an old school offense like that. It's not real pretty. It's not real. Sexy. Everybody wants to throw. Everybody wants to throw the ball 80 times a game. But these kids buy in, and if you're JJ, I'm sure you're not complaining about the offense because you're getting the ball. But for the other kids who may not get those opportunities, it takes a lot of character to buy into that offense. So kudos to those guys.
Coach,
listen, I'm not hating on that offensive setup. I'm just interested to see how long he can ride that out. Just because it is such a this is who we are. This is our identity. I think when we played them, Kevin, you can remember. I think they had thrown 12 passes total and completed 6. Yeah. So for us to do that at Swansboro, I would have kids walking out the door.
Well, so that's what I was going to say. So, Kevin, if Coach came to you tomorrow and said, hey, we're scrapping, kind of spreading it out and winging it around, we're going to go to a single wing and you're going to be running the ball every play, what would you think about that, dude? Totally off script.
We're already at the point into the season, so I can't go anywhere. But
yeah.
So
you would do what your coach wanted to do, but you go home and be like, Mom, Dad, what's Coach thinking, right?
I would not like that at
all.
He's being nice. He would definitely be upset. This is a gunslinger I got over here. He wants to sling that thing around. He would not be happy with Coach.
And the next question would be like, is it baseball season yet?
Yeah. All right, here we go. What's scarier, Jacksonville's start fast mentality or how they finish?
How they start. They just have a tendency to get off the strong leads and continue to force a turnover or get some big stops. So they've been able to generate 2-score leads early in the game, and then kind of through various different reasons, maybe the dogs are being called off in the second half. But I would say if they continue to get off the big leads early on, then they're going to be set for the rest of the season.
Okay. More intimidating, East Duplin's front 7 or their closing speed?
Ooh. I think you just got to give it to East Duplin's always going to produce the big guys, big offensive and defensive linemen. So I would say they're front 7.
All right. And off script again, by the way, your posture looks great with that pillow behind you.
Yeah.
So anyway, how big is that first win for Coach Garvey and the Stallions?
I think it was big, just like I think it was big for Coach and the Pirates to get that first win earlier this season. And we didn't really get any grief from my comments last year, so I'm going to repeat them again. I think Garvey has worked really hard, and his staff have worked really hard to kind of establish their own identity. And people got to realize that he is a young guy. I mean, goes to show you how long I've been doing this. I covered him in high school.
Wow. Okay. God, he is young, or you're old. One of the two.
So it's going to take some time, and but good for him and the program, and people just got to be patient with him and the staff.
Was this about heart or halftime adjustments, you think, for Southwest?
I would say heart. I think they wanted to get off the snide and and played with a little bit of want to, and I think it showed Friday night.
What song do you think they played in the locker room after the win? Was it Fantasia?
No.
God, I'm never going to forget that. Josh Smith and some song with Fantasia or something.
As much as I hate it to say, of course, none of those guys were, AC/DC, because that's
you hate that stuff, don't you?
I can't stand AC/DC and Guns N' Roses. I can't.
Yeah. You're lucky I'm still doing this show with
Bon
you.
Jovi and Metallica, but
all right.
Even the darkness.
Was this more about J.H. Rose's adjustments or White Oak running out of gas?
I would say J.H. Rose is making adjustments. At least I think White Oak hasn't run out of gas. They haven't.
They've always been.
So I think just J.H. Rose is a good team, and they probably got off to a little bit of a slow start. I don't know if that was their homecoming or not, but they were supposed to in the second half and pulled away.
Who wins a sprint race between Josh Smith and Jimenez?
Ooh, I would say Jimenez.
Okay. 2 return TDs was special teams Richland's best offense Friday night.
Oh yeah, because they and it was 2 different guys too. It was 2 different guys that.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't just one guy. So Richlands has struggled offensively throughout the season, and they've they're still trying to find some being consistent offensively. But when you're struggling like that, you'll take any score you can.
Okay. In the West Corvette Richlands game, bend but don't break or survive in advance.
Survive in advance.
All right. Can anyone slow down Havelock when they when they're locked in? I mean, Coach, you saw it firsthand. I mean, they rolled. I mean, they were playing good.
Yes. I'm never going to take anything away from them, but I will say, I got to give a little credit where credit is due. Our defense did a heck of a job stopping them early.
Yeah.
It's just our offense was struggling, and that's been. I'm sure you get to it later, but that's been one of our things is putting offense and defense together for a whole
same
game.
Time. Yeah.
So our defense handled them pretty good there in the beginning. I think he had 3 turnovers before halftime, and forcing Havelock to turn the ball over is no easy task.
Yeah.
We just couldn't capitalize. So yes, they can move the ball and do what they need to do, but I also got to give my defense credit. They definitely stood to the challenge when they were called for.
I mean, you guys are playing. I mean, you guys are in. It's a really good conference.
Oh yeah,
it's a really good conference, and I'll tell you. So last year, full disclosure, when Jacksonville and Northside was in the Greenville Conference or whatever you want to call it, and White Oak and everyone was in the other conference. Totally honest with you, on my other show, 2 Men to Six Pack, we labeled the Jacksonville Conference the SEC, and we labeled y'all's conference at that time Mountain West. I think that has drastically changed because every week in your conference, you got to bring it, man. Right?
Correct.
Every week. I mean, the conference is it's just amazing. So much better than it was last year. Yeah, just amazing. Okay, Chris, back to you. Question: Teal, Beasley, and Armstrong, offensive threats every week. They step on the field regardless of the opponents.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think they're the key players on those teams, and obviously when they play well, their teams play well. But if you take them away, then I think their teams are a little bit different. So credit those guys for continuing to produce, and they do play a major factor in their ball teams.
Okay, Havelock gets a bye this week. Perfect timing or too soon? They're on a kind of a roll, right?
Well, I think perfect timing because they got Northside next week. And so, and of course, Swansboro would like nothing more than to spoil things and shock the world and earn an upset Friday night. But Northside in Havelock, that could potentially be a big game next week.
Yeah.
So if you're Havelock, you want to take that bye week before that game.
I hope Northside's looking ahead. Coach, I hope Northside's looking ahead. Because I've watched video of this guy and he slings it, man. You throw it, man, and I'm really impressed by you, dude. You throw it and you sling it. How good was that? Must have that first win been for Lejeune and the coach, the players, just not the fact they hadn't won a game, but just everything that they've been through to this point.
No, I mean just it means a lot. I mean that they have struggled. Throughout the season with some young players and everything that they've been through. And, so again, you can look at the score. Oh yeah, they beat Jones Senior 21-0, but don't tell that to the kids because that win means a lot. And, and I'm going to go ahead and that's the beauty of having a podcast. I can kind of be a little bit more spicier than I usually am. But I do wish those kids and those parents and the coaches got a little bit more support from the higher uppers, not the men and women who sacrifice for this country, but not talking about them. I'm talking about the bureaucracy type of things. But I wish those kids got a lot of all sports at Lejeune got a lot more support from administrations, DODEA, and from their athletic director. Yeah.
Well, that's it for the rapid fire. This week's recap has been brought to you by SIA Group. For more than 50 years, SIA Group has provided protection beyond insurance, helping families, businesses, and communities preserve what matters most. They believe insurance isn't just about policies, it's about people. That's why SIA Group is committed to supporting local businesses and giving back to the communities they serve. Learn more at siagroup.com/prep report. And I'll say it like I do every week. SIA Group is a sponsor. This little siagroup.com/prep report is their way of seeing who's watching the show. You go there and they want to know who your school is. So if you're listening, watching, at some point in time, go to siagroup.com/prep report and show them, pick your school and show them that you're watching, listening, so they'll continue to sponsor the show. So, Kevin, before we get into the interview, one thing, we do this every other week, and I forgot the stats, the county stats. Are y'all good with me doing that real quick? All right, so here we have the county stats. So we have area offensive leaders. We see passing, of course. Not much has changed. The top three, and I'm just going to be honest with you, the top three in passing has been the top three in passing. We got Reginald Gray from Northside. We have Cannon McBride from Croatan, and we got Kevin Teal from Swansboro. So that's awesome, man. What amazes me so much, and Chris gives me these stats, and I ask him, and he never gives it to me, the completion percentage. That's, Coach, talk about, I mean, you know, you can throw for 300 or 400 yards a game if you throw it 50. You know, I relate it to Allen Iverson.
Okay.
Allen Iverson used to score 50, 60 points a game, but he shot 32 times a game and he shot 30%. So talk to me a little bit about Kevin's efficiency. How about that?
Yeah, no. So Kevin is lucky enough to be surrounded with a good group of receivers too. So and they've worked together long enough to know kind of each other's whims, right? Yeah. So when this guy decides to pull the trigger, usually is to the guy, even if it ain't the way I designed and drew up the play, is usually these guys going, all right, I know where Kevin's at. Here's where he's going to throw it, and then he delivers the punch, right? So I hate freelancing, and these guys know it. We don't get out there and freelance, but they are allowed to react to their quarterback, right? So the relationship they have amongst quarterback and receiver is very strong, and Kevin is he's precise in his decision making when it comes to those things. So he's gonna make sure to deliver that pass in a catchable position for those guys, and they'll climb a ladder and go get it if he's under stress and throws it. A lot of that I can't take any credit for. That's just them and the chemistry they have.
They're happening.
But he doesn't do a lot of inerrant throws, right? So everybody has those few here and there. And Kevin limits those very well, and that's what makes his efficiency higher because he will go deliver the right read at the right time. But a lot of it comes through just when he's rolling out there, he's repped it enough. He knows where those guys should be. And they know if they run open grass, he will find them. So we're not out there forcing, square peg through a circle hole, right? He's out there throwing what's available and taking what the defense gives him, and that's been a growth pattern from him.
I was going to say that takes a lot for a 17, 18-year-old kid.
Correct.
That's huge. Yeah, that's huge.
Does he ever shake you off?
No comment. That stays between me and him.
That's between them.
Right?
Let's see. Moving on. So we've got Josh Smith, and we've got a kid from Richlands and a kid from Liberty. The quarterback from East Duplin, Norris, breaks into the top 10 for this week, and then Washington. Moving to rushing, JJ, he's top 2,000 yards now, 2,200 yards. That's freaking amazing. Especially when the second place is Josh Smith, just short of 1,000. I mean, that's really amazing. We know that JJ will never be on the passing leaderboard, nor will he probably have a receiver on the passing leaderboard, because we know who Dixon is, because they do have Sean Delaney is also in the top 5. So there you see the rushing stats. Moving over to receiving, Gavin Davis, Beasley. That's your son, correct?
That is.
Yeah, how about that? In second, 31 receptions for 603 yards and four touchdowns. The kid from Lejeune, catching passes, just not scoring touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
That's tough. Boucher, who is just an all-around, he's also on the rushing list. Really good player in there. Some more Croatan. So you see, and then, of course, Armstrong. I don't want to miss him. 23 receptions, 297 yards, and two touchdowns. We're going to talk about your two receivers when I talk with you because I know you want to talk about them as well. But obviously, you see there's a correlation between the passing leaders and the receiving leaders. So that full list will be on the podcast and it'll be up there. You guys can go through it. Any comments you want to make about the area leaders?
No, I mean, if you really, look at the stats. Every one of the 11 teams is represented at least once or twice in either passing or receiving. So,
and you know what their identity is.
Yeah, exactly. So, it is kind of neat to see different kids up there, and I remember when we used to be able to run it in the into stats online. I mean, in the print edition, people would cut those newspaper out and put it on their wall, and our coaches would put it on the locker room. So stats still matters. They still matter to coaches and players.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think they matter. I just think it's a good way for validation for the kids. The kids are putting in work, and it's a good way to say, hey man, this is what your efforts are being put forth. Even big fat lineman, when you have somebody, JJ's offensive line has got to be just happy because JJ's rushing for so many yards, and Sean are rushing. Their names aren't there, but anybody that knows football and follows football knows that those guys would not be running for the amount of yards they were, nor would quarterbacks be throwing for the amount of yards that they're throwing if it wasn't for offensive line.
And if it was easier, maybe one day we could get like a list of pancake blocks for offensive linemen.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah,
yeah, we need to work on that. Considering I'm an old fat offensive lineman, we need to work on that. So anyway,
hey, for the records, it's in max preps, but every O lineman calls every block.
Yeah. If they make a good block, it's like, man, I pancake.
An offensive lineman never hold.
No, not once.
All right, man. Let's morph and talk to Kevin Till. So joining us is Kevin Till, senior quarterback, Swansboro, along with head coach Rodney Beasley, and we're going to talk a little about Swansboro football and about with Kevin and a few other things. So Kevin, we're just going to, Kevin, we're just going to hop right in. First set of questions are going to do with leadership and team growth. This year feels different for Swansboro football, right? What's the biggest change in the team's mindset from last year to now?
I mean, just when I walked through those weight room doors during the summer, the first day just was a different mentality from everybody. Like, I talked to a lot of them, and I said, this season's got to be different. We can't just keep riding that train of losing and, just fight for something, So, we'd come in the weight room every morning, and the numbers were there. Everybody wanted to be there. And, one of my linemen, Big Fresh, we were in there one day, and he was there squatting like 530 or 550 pounds or something like of reps. And I don't remember the last time I've ever seen that before. And, everybody was around him hyping him up. And whenever somebody was doing something good, the team was there. And that was really important. And people showing up, putting in the work every day.
That's awesome, man. So how did you personally take on a leadership role during the off-season, summer, and maybe even during spring last year and during summer leading up to the season?
Right when baseball season ended, literally the next day I was out during football. I knew that this season somebody had to step up, something had to change, and I knew I was the guy. I knew I would come in, lead the guys, and change the culture and narrative of the program. And I'm very grateful for the guys that listen to me and think of me as their leader every day. And I just I don't know. It's just every day we come to practice, and everybody wants to be there and practice hard.
That's
because
awesome,
even
man.
though some games don't go the way they're supposed to, everybody still shows up and puts in the work.
Are you a captain?
Yes, sir.
So let me tell you, just because you're a quarterback doesn't mean you have to be a captain. I'm assuming, I'm not sure if it was done through the coaches or done through the players or whatever, but you were selected as a captain because you deserve it. And because they saw something in you as a leader on the field and off the field that they wanted you to be front and center. Now, I don't mean to put anything in coaches, but there's a lot of quarterbacks out there, whether at high school, college, or the pros, that are not the captains. that don't have the C on the chest. I know y'all probably don't have the C on the chest.
No, they do.
Oh, do you? Okay. And that's awesome. But there's a lot of folks, a lot of quarterbacks that don't have that C on their chest. And there's a reason why. And so that's awesome, man. That's great. Coach Beasley talked about players finally believing in the system. When did you feel that belief kick in?
I would say
or click
going into that week before the first game, and everybody was just like, it's hard to explain what that week was like. Everybody was mentally prepared, physically prepared, and we knew that Friday night we were going to shock a lot of people, and we did.
Y'all opened, was it South
Columbus?
South Columbus.
South Columbus y'all opened with. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And y'all, what was the final in that?
27-21.
27-21. That's,
But mind you, I will throw this in there because I got to defend my guys. We also watched 3 touchdowns get wiped off the board by nonsense calls. Yeah. And I usually don't get on
No. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
They worked really hard, and even though that was a loss for us, you
just knew something was different, didn't you, man? Yeah, man, that's awesome. So let's talk about individual and team performances. So you've had a solid year so far. Maybe a great year. Okay. We saw top 3 in the area. And again, I would argue that any other potential year, the quarterback class this year is really strong. You potentially might be leading the area in passing this year. It's just a great year. So with that said, how do you measure success beyond the numbers, beyond your stats?
I think it takes going into the game not playing for stats but playing to win. For everybody's playing for each other, and I'm playing for my offensive lineman, I'm playing for my receivers, and everybody's playing for each other. They don't care who's getting the ball or who's scoring the touchdowns or who's running the ball. They just care about success and standard. Setting the standard that every day of practice we're going to come in, work hard, go on Friday night, and put on a show. And it didn't matter who scored. It didn't matter who had the glory. So just as long as, we put in the work and win or do good as a team, that was the most important thing.
But let's be realistic. As a quarterback, everyone looks to you when things go right or when things go wrong, right? How do you handle that responsibility? Because that's a big responsibility, man. How do you handle that?
I just take it, because I know I can roll with it and move on to the next play.
Yeah.
So when things go wrong, a fumble, and I'm guilty of it, throwing picks, I take all credit because I know that I don't want my guys to have that in their head because I know I can move on to the next play.
Well, you said when you fumbled or something like that, but I'm sure too if a running back fumbles or a block's missed and you're running off the field, there's a pat on the butt to the guy say, "Hey man, keep your head up, let's go." Right.
I always go talk to my old linemen after the drive. They're always sitting on the benches over there, and I'm always giving them high fives and saying, "We're good, let's get back next drive." Like, I got y'all's backs, y'all got mine. We're good, let's go.
Yeah, because trust me, I know you know this, but when an offensive lineman misses a block that causes you to get sacked or causes something to happen, he feels 1,000 times worse than what you think. He just feels like he's let the world down. I'm just going to tell you, man, because that's just been there, done it, and he just feels like that he's let you because they don't want to see him. They want to see the quarterback and they want to see the receivers, and he's never really highlighted until he doesn't do something. Right. He doesn't get unless you're on TV or unless you're watching on film. You don't hear somebody say, "Damn, look at that great block that tackle just made." You'll say, "Dag, that dude just missed his block and the quarterback got sacked." So he feels just as bad or worse. So that little pat is.
How many blocks did you miss in high school?
Not many. No, I'm just messing. I'm not. No, I miss my favorite. We didn't throw the ball that much. We were fortunate. I've been back and debated with folks about this in '86. We had, to my knowledge, someone said Doug Banks back at White Oak High School many years ago rushed for 2,000 yards, but we had a running back named Bobby Ray. We threw the ball probably 6 times a game. We ran the ball, man. Mm-hmm. And Bobby was, to my knowledge, the first 2,000-yard rusher in Onslow County at the time back in '86. But anyway, so what's something about your teammates that people outside the locker room don't see, but you wish they could?
just how relentless they are and everything on the field, just on game day, everybody just comes and watches the games, but they don't see all the hard work they put in at practice every day. And I mean, I give a lot of credit to the linemen because those are like my favorite guys. They, like you said, to go back to the question you said earlier, they don't get enough credit for the good things they do. But once they do something wrong, everyone's like, oh, it's the O-line's fault, it's the O-line's fault. But, I made sure to tell the guys before the season started, like, I will make sure y'all get that credit when it's deserved, of course. And especially to my running backs, too, because, like, a lot of people like to blame blocks on O-line, but running backs are just as important.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah. So, have you taken your offensive lineman out to eat or anything like that?
I actually do dinners at my house.
Okay.
I've had multiple on Sundays, and we'll have like taco night, pasta.
So that must be popular. Cannon McBride said that he had his lineman over, and one of the guys ate. I forget how many damn tacos he said he ate, but he said he ate had a bunch. Like feed them, man. They love to eat. So,
if you feed them, they will block.
Feed them, they will block. Yeah. So. Shirt. Yeah, that's a good shirt.
They, like there was a couple there was a Sunday I didn't do it, and then there were like I remember when you didn't feed me, I was starved that weekend.
So we talked about it. This year has been packed with standout quarterbacks across the area, and we've talked about how much do you pay attention to what those guys are doing.
I'm a stat geek myself, so I'm always looking at stats, and I don't want to say I compare myself to other people because I like my own story and my own road, but I always want, like, I'm a big competitor, so I always want to be at the top of the leaderboard. And for a long time, I didn't start on varsity as a freshman either. So like coming into junior year and, not having the best year myself and then really just banking on this senior year was really hard. But I feel like this year we've showed out we've showed that we can be something, and we've had a lot of close games too.
Yeah. So that kind of watching those quarterbacks, friendly rivalry, motivation, or both?
I would say, I'd say motivation.
Yeah, that's what I would say from you, man. In me knowing you for 20, 30 minutes, that's what I would say from you. So what do you think separates your style of play from the other quarterbacks in the conference?
I would probably say my playmaking ability, just all around as the quarterback. I'm not like labeled as a pocket passer or a scrambler or, just like a runner. I mean, I can kind of just do a lot of it, mostly everything. So I'll go out there and make plays. So I'm not just labeled as one thing.
And I think from what Coach is saying, you seem to be a very good decision maker. Yep. Yeah. And you kind of answered this, but if someone asks, what kind of quarterback is Kevin Till, what would your answer be?
I would say a leader.
That's great, man. That's awesome. Multi-sports. So you play basketball and baseball. So any correlation or anything with those sports that you think helps you be quarterback?
Baseball.
100%. How's that?
So I think it's got something to do with, like your core and obviously your hips and everything in baseball and the throwing motions. So, I mean, I play third base and pitcher, so I obviously have a strong arm.
Yeah.
So just going, throwing a baseball all season and going to football and just having those mechanics. Yeah. I feel like helps you become a better quarterback.
Awesome. So more physically demanding or more mentally demanding? Which one?
Football. Mentally.
You're a thinking man. I love it, man. So what's next? And that's best memory of your time at Swansboro High School. Could be athletic, could be not. What's your best memory so far? And you got some time left with football season and then basketball and baseball, but your best memory to date.
Just seeing my guys succeed every day and every night. So, like, on game day, and especially when we got the first win, and I don't know how long, like a long time, was just really, really important and special to see my guys so happy that, all the hard work they put in finally, worked out and they showed on the field and, they got what they wanted. So.
All right. What's next for Kevin Till after graduation? You and I were talking off air before, but tell everybody else.
So I'm applying to multiple colleges, and right now I haven't really got any interest, but I'm going on a couple visits, like UNC Charlotte and a couple other colleges this offseason, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna see what my options are with sports, and I'm gonna go play ball in college wherever I can. Yeah. Like either if it's baseball or football, I just who I am. I've always been a sports player.
Yeah.
So I've also thought about going to Alabama. You know, that's like
is that your dream? I was gonna ask dream school.
My dream school.
All right.
And I've already
Roll
got
Tide.
in, but Roll Tide. But you know, even if I go there, I want to try to walk on. But I've made it really hard on myself this off season. I've got a lot of growing to do. So.
Yeah. That's all right. Now we're going to go to rapid fire. So here we go. This is for Kevin Teal, rapid fire. Best moment so far this football season?
Winning.
Hardest hit you've ever taken, and did you pop right back up?
Dixon.
Did you pop
yes,
back?
I did.
All right. Who's the toughest defense you faced so far this year?
I've got to say Havelock.
Okay. Pre-game ritual or superstition? Which one? Do you have a ritual, or are you superstitious about something?
I would say a ritual. Just, you know, listen to music and getting locked in.
What's your hype song?
I like Power by Kanye West and Bad Morning by NBA Youngboy.
Okay, good. If you could add one skill from another quarterback in the area, who would it be, and what skill would that be?
I'll probably do.
That's a pretty good question, isn't it, Coach? Yeah.
I would probably do Josh Smith's speed.
Yeah, Josh can move. Advice to younger athletes at Swansboro High School. Could be football players, basketball players, baseball players, whatever.
Just keep the motivation and success riding. I know, you know, our JV team right now they're 8-0, and you know they're riding on wins right now. And I just hope when they come to varsity next year, when we're all gone, they just keep that same momentum going. So.
You just mentioned something. If I remember, a red article. Lot of seniors this year, right? 16. Okay, yeah, I knew 16, 18 or something like that. Okay. All right, these are fun rapid fires here. Funniest guy in the locker room?
Jason Rouse.
That was pretty quick, so he must see hands down.
I
Okay.
agree with that.
All right. If your teammates described you in one word, what would it be?
Like hard.
Hard.
Hard with my teammates.
All right. What's your go-to post-game meal in Swansboro?
Taco Bell or Waffle House.
God, man, what is it about Taco Bell?
It's open.
Yeah, good boy. You throw a touchdown. What's your ideal celebration song playing over the stadium speakers?
I'll be honest, I don't have one.
Okay.
I just move on to the next play.
All right. If you could quarterback for any college team tomorrow, who would that be? Obviously Alabama. You said that. More pressure. 3rd and long in the 4th quarter, or free throws with the game on the line in basketball, or on the pitching mound, or at the bat in a close game? More pressure.
Man, that is a really good question. I would probably have to say, do you have timeouts left in the football game?
Good. See, that's a thinking man right there. I would say there's no timeouts, man. Straight up. 3rd and long in the football game.
You only get one shot in baseball. You get multiple pitches. In basketball, you get 2 free throws.
Yeah, that's great. You got any questions for Kevin? I'm gonna roll to Coach Beasley, unless you've got.
No, you mentioned Josh Smith. No, he can run. He just can't listen to music.
No, he can't listen to music, and that just goes back to I asked him what his hype song was, and full disclosure, I have no idea who Fantasia is, but it was Fantasia, and I don't even remember the song, but both Chris and Coach Bird, when he said it, kind of like shook their heads and like, oh my gosh, or whatever. So I didn't have a lot of positive things to think about this Fantasia song. So anyway, all right, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Kevin stepped into full-time starting role this year after I think he got a few starts last year. From your perspective, how have you seen his leadership and confidence evolve both on the field and off the field?
Well, both Kevin and we had a quarterback battle going on
Okay.
for a little bit there with Kevin and Austin Zeckler as I took over, mainly because I changed and both of those guys were coming up from JV and wanted to give them both an opportunity to kind of see where they were at. Both of them stepped up to the challenge, but as we got to the offseason and everything, and one came a little bit more quickly right after his sport was open and was bought in and fighting for it, and that was Kevin.
Yeah.
So his one thing that I would say changed is he opened his mind to the change of the offense and the accepting of a new head coach, right?
Yeah.
And the growing pains that not only the team was going to have to go through, but what I was going to have to go through. And I believe there's no better relationship on a team, in this case right now where we're at, than the OC and the quarterback, right? They got to be on the same page.
Absolutely.
And right now, as acting OC and head coach, me and him had to be on the same page. And he throws some tough questions out there, and I like that. It was a challenge, right? So he's asking me, why are we doing this? And why is this my first read? And on the positive side, hey, coach, what if we put this play in? What do you think about this? And I think those are some of the things that show that he's not just a player out there just going through the motions. He was bought in 100%, ready to go. Not that any of the other ones weren't, but he was like trying to figure out how to better the team before we even got and put pads on. We're in 7-on-7, and he's trying to make, what about this? What about this, to get his guys open? And I would say one of the things I look at in choosing quarterbacks, does he spread the ball or does he have a favorite receiver, right? Because if you're trying to force the ball to a receiver, we have a problem.
And I've seen in the stats he spreads the ball around.
He distributes the ball to whoever is open, and that's what we want to do. I don't care who's catching it; throw it to the guy that's open, and that's been the evolution of Kevin Teal, right?
Yeah.
As we go through, being a young quarterback coming in, he knew who the playmaker was. He's trying to get the ball to him, and as we come into this year, he's like, I'm gonna get it to whoever's open. And that's what he said and told me he was going to do, and by God, that's exactly what he's done, and that's where full trust in his decision-making ability on the field.
All right. Off script, you mentioned your skill players or spreading the ball around. Talk a little bit about your son. Talk about I think it's Noah Armstrong.
Nolan,
but just talk a little bit about them, their play, their progression, because without them stepping up and doing their job, Kevin is throwing the air, right?
Correct.
So talk a little bit about your skill position players.
So my receiving core is full of athletes, right? Some of them, I will say this on record, if you look at them, you'll be like, no way. But then when they pop out and they end up with this long catch over the middle, somehow didn't get destroyed on a hospital ball, as they call it, and then he's running for a touchdown. That's the type of receivers we got, right? So they're not scared of the contact. They're not scared to run across the middle of the field. They're not scared to stretch out and catch the ball. As a group, they're athletically talented kids that want to go and compete. I think Kevin mentioned it the best earlier. They're all competitors.
Yeah.
You got some that are flashy, just want to go make that highlight catch and don't really care about anything else. Our guys want to move the ball down the field and work as a unit to be the best receiving unit out there. So, like, Nolan has been here for a while. He's a converted quarterback. Don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I did not.
Not middle school. In JV, him and Kevin were battling out for who the starting guy was, and I had to have a little conversation with Nolan and be like, hey, I think you could help us at a receiver. And to give him, credit to his mindset, he said, absolutely, coach, whatever the team needs. Hopped over there, and now you see his name on the receiving chart. So he's a team player. I got plenty of stories about these guys where we can be going down the field. One can take it all the way down the field and be gassed, and he's coming out, don't care who's scoring a touchdown. You would think, I walked all the way down here, let me get a shot. They don't care. They just want to make sure we get on the board, and that's the bigger thing. So both Carmelo, Nolan, and even Glasson and Jace as our starting guys right there, those guys run through a brick wall for this kid. And he will run through that same wall for them. So it's good to see that camaraderie amongst that unit, and that's what brings them and makes them special, because they're playing for each other. They could care less about stats or glory. They're just out there playing ball, and sometimes I joke with them that it looks like they just want to play in the backyard and have fun, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. So we mentioned again the area quarterbacks, and I actually asked Kevin the question about if he could have a trait or something from one of the other quarterbacks, what would it be? But where do you think Kevin fits in with this group, with the area quarterbacks? And the real question, though, is what do you think makes him unique? If I asked one of the other quarterbacks that question, maybe that they had to answer about something unique about Kevin, what would that be?
Well, if I'm going to be honest with you, I think where Kevin stands right now is accurate for where Kevin's at. I think he's moving up the charts, and I've seen fluctuation up and down.
Yeah.
I think we don't shoot for that area, but where he's at right now is constituted of what he's able to do and what he can do with the weapons given.
Yeah.
Again, we do have some young guys on our varsity team that are, going to make those young mistakes.
Yeah.
And I know, young mistakes with a young team and a change of everything, it gives us some areas for improvement. And if those areas were to improve quicker, I think Kevin jumps up that list quite a bit.
Yeah.
But you asked what's unique. I'm going to go with what he said earlier. You can't tag this kid. You can't give him a pocket passer or a scrambler. He's whatever the situation dictates need be. So he can be a scrambler. He can be a pocket passer. But if the situation calls for it, that's when he steps in. So that's the trait I think any OC would want in their quarterback that Kevin currently has, that I think those guys would definitely say, yeah, I would take that trait if I could take it.
So that it's his ability to adapt,
yes, sir,
to whatever situation that might be. And the other thing that I've heard throughout this thing is also his decision making. Not that the other quarterbacks don't, but his decision making ability as well.
And the greatest thing about Kevin is he's not even hit that full potential yet.
He's
still growing there.
So here in my mind, I'm thinking, I know you're ready to get out of high school and start the next part of your life, but probably in the back of your mind, you're going like, man, damn, I wish I had another year to play football. And
he's not, I am. So.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I can just see that because your relationship started last year, or the quarterback OC relationship kind of has evolved over the last several months, or last 12 plus months or whatever. And in my mind, I'm sure you're saying, man, if this kid was a junior, I would have another year to work with him, because because like you said, he's probably every week, every day in practice, he's getting better, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you talked about the team and believing in the system, and answering challenges this year. What role has Kevin played in building that belief and setting the tone for the rest of the program?
Well, again, echoing Kevin earlier, from the start of the summer, and even before that, you can go back in the spring when he was able to come. Even when he wasn't able to come, he wouldn't leave me alone and text me, hey, Coach, what can I do? What can I do? That part of it right there is what we're missing from the year before, right? These guys, he's just hungry to get out there and get it going. And then coming in and seeing the amount of kids that were there over the summer, as he said, was amazing. But kids being there and kids being productive while there are two totally different things. So getting the kids there and then seeing them be productive and then truly excited for their brother. We talk about being your brother's keeper all the time. Being exciting for your brother that's lifting that, I think it was like 520-something pounds that Fresh was doing. I think he's right. But they were all excited about it. They didn't care if he was lifting 5 or 2 pounds, but they were excited about it.
They were excited for him, yeah.
And he was a catalyst for that. We had multiple meetings and talks about, hey, you got to be the energy, right? Coaches can only bring so much, but we're not able to dress up and get out there and play. Although we would love to, we're not able to. So you got to be that energy. He stepped to the plate, took it, and I think that's been one of the bigger things. Him amongst there was a couple other leaders on the team, Nolan Armstrong being one of those as well, that they've stepped up and brought that energy every time they get an opportunity, and that's what's helpful.
And there's something to be said too about encouragement or peer pressure, or however it's when a coach wants you to do something, you'll do it because you got to, because it's coach. But when a leader, a captain, or and we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, you don't have to be a captain to be a leader. I mean, there's leaders in various areas of the football team and life, but when you feel that peer pressure. And I love the fact that and I don't really know in any other sport. I don't really know you talk about it in baseball or in basketball. I don't really. My son played soccer. But you use the word brother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm. I guess you might use it in baseball and basketball. I don't know, but there's just something different about football, but there's something different when your brother gets on you. And whether in a good way or bad way or whatever, to motivate you to do something, it just means a little more, or it comes off a little different. I don't know if you guys would agree or not. No, coming from a peer or your brother as opposed to a coach. Would y'all agree with that?
I agree.
Yeah, 1,000%.
You gotta know your person you're talking to at the same time. Everybody takes criticism differently.
That's right.
Yep.
So
you are wise beyond your words, buddy, because that is exactly right. That is exactly right.
And a little bird just wanted a side note. Kevin was out a little bit with the ankle sprain this season, so little bird just dropped that note on us.
Nice.
He was out with ankle. We don't talk about injuries. It was a minor setback there because he was not. It was more. I got to be honest. I held him out. Boy didn't want to be held out.
No,
I was looking at the future and potential for the season, and we had a discussion about it, and he took it, and he was like, "Yeah, Coach, I want to be out there, but I understand where this is coming from. That makes sense." But the competitor in him did not want to be on.
Yeah, you never want to be on the sidelines, man. Never. Do you have anything else for them?
No, Coach was talking about he wishes he could strap it up. But Coach, you have any game left in you?
Oh, yeah. You can come find me on Sundays in that little flag football league at Western Park, but that's about as much I got left now.
So and this is all script again, script. Your background, are you from here or where?
So I'm from North Carolina.
Okay.
Yes, and I spent most of my time after I got out of the military. I was in 82nd Airborne.
Oh, okay.
And after I got out of the military, we were in Greensboro because that's where my wife was at school in Greensboro College or UNCG. And then I've worked with Ricky Prohl at Prolific Park and some time with him at the Panthers and stuff too.
Okay,
so
nice.
I've been around football for forever.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Hey, you know what? We ended up here because my wife said, I'm ready to retire and I want to go there.
Okay, so that's what I asked you.
That's how we ended up here.
So the Beasleys like the beach and like the coast.
Yeah, I came here when I was a kid. This is where we vacationed to Emerald Isle, so I'd been here before.
Okay.
But my wife, to my knowledge, had not. So when she said, want to go here, I was like, what brought us here? She's like, it looks nice. I looked it up. I want to go there. So here we are.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, you got anything else for Coach?
No, I just want to. I guess your son Carmelo is one of the key players, one of the founding members of the boys volleyball team from this past spring.
Oh, yeah.
So great season for those guys, and congratulations to the Swansboro girls volleyball team, first playoff win in 12 years last night. So
nice.
Definitely wanted to throw some volleyball. Give a shout out to them.
Love,
You know, we always talk about covering. And we got to do it. Joey Mihalichik has gotten on me about it because with the soccer playoffs coming up here shortly, we always talk about covering other high school athletics on this show. But probably because I want to run my mouth or Chris wants to run his mouth, we try not to go too long. We're already right at an hour, but we never get to talk about those things. But we're going to have to map out a show in the next couple weeks. To kind of touch on some of those.
And if Joey, you're listening, you're still on my my poo list.
Yeah. All right. Well, today's special guests and Rapid Fire have been brought to you by Moore Buick Pontiac GMC or Moore Buick GMC. At Moore Buick GMC, it's more than just selling cars. It's about serving our community. Right here in Jacksonville, Charles Williamson and his folks are proud to support local schools, charities, and events, while helping families find the perfect Buick or GMC to fit in their lives. From rugged GMC trucks to luxurious Buick SUVs, you'll find a wide selection backed by friendly service you can trust. Whether you're buying, leasing, or servicing your vehicle, you'll always be treated like family. Moore Buick GMC, driven by community, powered by trust. Visit us today at your local at our location on Highway 17 in Jacksonville or online at moorebuickgmc.com. All right, you ready for your picks?
Yeah.
All right, so
you
we're
guys,
going.
plug your ears. Sorry.
So we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll with your picks. So let's go back over to the screen sharing. So the first game we have up is Swansboro 2-6 and 0-4 in conference at Northside 7-1 and 4-0. How can Swansboro's passing attack test Northside's secondary? Well,
and like I said before, Northside is not like invincible. They have vulnerability. I mean, the wins have not come easy for the Monarchs. They've had to work for it. So and have those guys thinking, holy crap, we can lose this game. So I think that's going to be the key for Swansboro is to generate some early season, some early game success. And the longer they keep in that game, I think the longer they'll bode well for the Pirates.
Okay. What has made the Monarchs so consistent in closing games?
Well, I've said this before. I'll say it again. They are a different team when they run the ball. We all know they can throw the ball really well, but they add a different dynamic if they can run the ball. And
the last 4 or 5 weeks with Anderson, Anderson.
They have. Last week they struggled early on running the ball, and then kind of picked up in the third and fourth quarter, which kind of helped them pull away. So if they can run the ball, then they're even more dangerous.
Okay. Richlands 1-7, 0-4 in conference against Dixon 5-3 and 1-3 in conference. How does Dixon's single wing attack wear down defenses?
Well, I think Richlands defensively has been pretty stout the last few years or so. So I don't see a lot of big plays, 30, 40, 50-yard plays by the Bulldogs. I see them methodically, controlling the clock and 4 or 5, 6 play. 6, 7. I had to get a 6, 7 in there. You know,
I got to find out what this means after we get off the air because this came up last week. So when we got off the air, y'all got to explain it to me. Go ahead.
you know,
6'7", no clue. I saw that at the State Fair from Monday, a shirt that had 6'7" on it. But go ahead.
Brain rot. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yep. But they're gonna have their. I see Dixon winning this game, but I don't see them having a lot of big plays. I see them, like I said, 4 or 5 yards apiece and kind of controlling the tempo.
Okay. West Corvette 5-3, 3-2 in conference. Croatan 7-1, 3-1. Which QB duel wins out? McBride's precision or Payne's power arm?
I would say McBride, but I think just like it's been the last several weeks, I think Boucher is going to be the difference in that ball game for the Cougars.
Okay. Does the Cougars' week off help or hurt their rhythm?
I think it helps.
Okay. South Central 3-5, 0-3 in conference. White Oak 4-4, 0-3 in conference. Which defense makes the first big stop to shift momentum?
I'm gonna go with White Oak. I think they're due for a win and due to find some success tonight, Friday night.
Okay. Southwest 1-6, 1-2 in conference. At South Lenore 3-5 and 0-3 in conference. Which running back sets the tone early in this one?
I would say Howard for Southwest.
Okay. Lejeune 1-7, 1-2 in conference. At Pamlico 1-7 and 1-2. Will turnovers decide who leaves with win number 2?
I don't see a lot of turnovers being played. I just think there's probably going to be a lot of punts or attempted punts in that game. And shout out to Pamlico coach Brandon Akins, former Jacksonville guy.
Yeah.
So second week in a row, Lejeune's playing a team that has same record as them. So they're going to go in motivated after last week's win, but I think Pamlico is a little bit of a step above Jones Senior.
Okay, and then last game we have, and I don't have a question. You've got a prediction. Bahrain Baptist 0-7 at Liberty Christian 5-2. This is a big game for them. With a win, they clinch a playoff.
They do things a little bit different. They're in the independent association, but because they're in an independent conference within that independent association, so they're not going to.
There's no playoffs.
There's no playoffs for them.
But there's a one game for potentially like a conference championship.
Like a conference championship. The top two teams in that conference play each other for the conference championship. So if Liberty wins that game, then they'll play that Sandhills team for the title. So they'll take care of business and they'll play, I guess, next week or the following week in that title game.
Okay. Well, now let's get to the results. And Coach, you can cover your eyes here. I'm gonna punch him when we get done. Northside's what now?
I just point out we've already proved him wrong once.
I know that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So funny story. He does. Coach texts me when I do my preseason predictions. Hey, I think this team's gonna win 5 games. This team's gonna win 6 games. And what was it you texted me? He said, not many of my guys really like you right now.
Hey, bulletin board material is great, man.
That shows that they read it.
That's right.
It shows that we had fun with it, and like I said before, we're gonna have fun with it, and but that shows that they read it. So I'm more stoked about that.
That's right. So we got Northside topping Swansboro, Dixon topping Richlands, Croatan and West Corvette in a close one, White Oak and South Central in a close one. You got Southwest getting their second win, Pamlico and Brandon getting their second win over Lejeune, and Liberty continuing on and beating Bahrain. I think they beat them pretty badly.
They beat them pretty badly
because they played them twice. Right? This is the second time they played them, right? Okay, all right. So we left 2 games out. You got 2 games of the week this week. So we'll pop over. First game of the week: D.H. Conley 6-2, 3-0 in conference at Jacksonville 7-0, 3-0. Cardinals aim for their first undefeated conference season since 1990. D.H. Conley has won 4 straight after early season stumble. Conley's balance meets Jacksonville's explosive offense and surging defense. Jacksonville threw 3 interceptions last week. They can't afford those mistakes against Conley. And Jacksonville has won 2 straight over Conley after dropping the 2022 game. Any other comment?
Well, I vaguely remember that 2022 game because Jacksonville was coming off a pretty big win, I believe, Havelock, and they kind of came in a little complacent, and Conley smacked him in the mouth and pulled the upset. So it'll be you would think the Cardinals will come out pretty fired up. They've taken care of business, but Conley, I think on paper Jacksonville's the better team, but Conley's found a way to win the last few games.
Okay, we'll go to the second game of the week, and then we'll do the predictions. East Duplin 6-2, 3-0 in conference. Pender 8-0 and 3-0 in conference. This is the East Central 3A 4A title game for all intents and purposes. Whoever wins this game will win conference. East Duplin, the 2022 champs, grinded out a 2013 win last week against Clinton. The Patriots have scored 50-plus points twice, including a 50-45 win over Clinton. Another common opponent, East Duplin shut out Wallace 21-0, while Pender needed overtime to defeat them. And then, of course, expect East Duplin's defense and run game to try and control the clock late.
Battle Holly, like we said before, and we're hoping he can come on our show next week. We'll I promise him we'd feed him and his staff next week. So we'll keep our fingers crossed we can get Battle Holly next week. But look, they're gonna be prepared. Last week, kind of a grinded out victory over Clinton, an improved Clinton team, because you remember how bad they were last year. So they're gonna come out prepared, and Pender has 4 guys who's rushed for over 700 yards. So this may be a really good game.
So they're not going to have a player in the passing stat, is what you're saying.
But it could be a very fast game too, which as a media person, you like those fast games.
Yeah. All right. So we got those 2 games, and I would be remiss, and it happens every time. His logo's up there. Both these games of the week. Billy, you're getting bonus this week. You got an extra game, but the games of the week are sponsored and brought to you by Billy Sewell and Golden Corral. Billy, we appreciate your support. Since we're on East Duplin, we'll go to East Duplin first. So you're predicting East Duplin 28, Pender 14.
Yeah.
All right.
They and like I said before, at East Duplin's key, they struggled early in the season throwing the ball, but when they've had success, I don't expect them to complete 15 of 16 passes for 300 yards, but complete 3 or 4 passes, get a couple first downs. I think last week they did have a big completion that kind of got a first down. So they need to be able to at least keep the defense on their toes, by having success throwing the ball. So if they do that, that will take some pressure off the run game, and then things can kind of open up from there.
All right. Move to the other game. You got Jacksonville 27, D.H. Conley 14. So you're predicting Jacksonville's going to win, stay undefeated in conference, stay undefeated for the season. And in reality, this is because that's a split conference, right?
Yeah, it's a split conference.
And this will be Jacksonville should secure the number 1 seed for their split deal, right?
Yeah, and
okay.
I think on paper Jacksonville should be the better team, but again, you never know in these type of games, and I don't even know if it's homecoming for the Cardinals or not, but they've taken care of business and done what they're supposed to do, and you would expect them to come out fired up and ready to play Friday night, but they do need to get off to a good start again.
All script, Coach. Do players, teams, do y'all know that it's homecoming? Maybe from activities going on. Kevin, maybe that's a Kevin question, man. I mean, do you guys really, hey, it's homecoming? I mean, we're going to the dance Saturday night or whatever, but in your you're preparing, nothing changes for preparation.
No, not at
I
all.
wouldn't think. I mean, I know there's hype or whatever.
I was going to say they might be a little bit more hype.
Yeah.
But I think all in all, and Kevin can elaborate, but all in all, it's we're checking in for work.
Yeah.
And it's another day to get work in and get ready for a game. The pressure and all may come from the stands later, from the fans that are decked out and whatever may be going on that day. But when we get out there, I can't speak for them, but as coach, when I get out there, I don't hear any of that anyway.
I mean, you probably block it out all during the week anyway as well. So any legit homecoming nerves or anything like that?
No,
have y'all had your homecoming yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think it's another football game. I'll be honest. I don't really think of the homecoming. It's not as like, oh, I'm thinking during the game, I'm thinking of the homecoming after, just locked in on football.
You got a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. So you
So you just made her mad.
You ain't thinking about Saturday night's dance, and that's cool, man. I get it.
Well, it was funny at the homecoming. It was like when Bama played Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
I wore my Ryan Williams jersey over my.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Was it you and Nolan?
Yeah, me and Nolan.
Was great.
Nice. Well, listen, these games of the week have been brought to you by Golden Corral. Golden Corral, the only one for everyone. Dig into Golden Corral's famous buffet with mouth-watering wings and boneless wings in a variety of flavors. Save room for 20 bakery dishes and dessert selections, from chocolate and carrot cake to apple pie and their legendary banana pudding. Start your morning with breakfast at 7:30, brunch at 10, and dinner featuring carved meats at 4. And seniors, you can enjoy the early bird buffet with a beverage at 1 p.m. Need to feed a crowd? They cater events from 10 to 1,000. Dine in, take out, drive through, or delivery. It's all at Golden Corral. Voted Jacksonville's #1 buffet 10 years running by the Daily News. Best of the best. Call 910-455-3773 or visit goldencorral.com today. So thank you again, Billy Sewell. Rapid fire real quick because we're an hour and 10 in. DH Conley in Jacksonville. Who breaks a long run first, Pearson or Washington?
Pearson.
More stressful, protecting a lead or keeping a streak alive?
Ooh. Keeping a streak alive.
Favorite pregame hype song of Jacksonville locker room right now?
Ooh,
You're not very good with these hype songs. I need to take those questions out.
well, I'm not cool. I mean,
yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're old. East Duplin Pender. Who wins a 4th and 1 push the pile battle?
oh, push.
Yeah.
East Duplin.
East Duplin's defense or Pender's ground game? Who blinks first?
Pender's ground game.
Okay. Would you rather win? I'm gonna ask Kevin this one, so you can answer this too. Would you rather win a 50-45 thriller or a 14-7 slugfest?
As a media person, I'd rather see a 14-7 slugfest.
You'd rather go 50-45, wouldn't you?
50-45,
Yeah. Coach, what would you? I mean, you give up 45, but you score 50. Does it matter just as long as you get a W?
I don't care what. The
I don't.
score
I
is, as
do.
long as
Yeah.
it's us on the side, on the winning side.
As
Afterwards.
exactly. All right. Bigger motivation to share a title or staying perfect at home. This is Northside and Swansboro.
I mean, the title comes first. I mean, whether you get it on the home or away, but and I will say this though, that I don't believe in this. If this team finishes 6-1, if two teams finish 6-1, they're both tied. Whoever won that head-to-head is the conference champion. That's just the way I've always felt.
All right. Richlands and Dixon. Over or under 40 rushing attempts for Dixon?
Oh, more. They'll rush for more.
Okay. If you're a Richlands defender, who do you not want running the ball for Dixon?
Oh, who do you not want? Caleb Lanier. He's the big 71 guy that because he's a big old offensive lineman that plays in the backfield.
All right. Wes Carteret Croatan. More touchdowns through the air or on the ground?
Ooh, air.
Who throws for more yards, McBride or Payne?
I think Payne, just because Crotan's going to be able to run the ball a little bit more.
Bigger bragging rights, the conference title if either one of them could potentially win it, or the county crown.
The Carter County Crown does mean a lot to them, so I would say that.
Okay. South Central White Oak, over or under 250 total yards for Josh Smith?
Over.
All right. First 1 to 30 wins, yes or no?
Yes.
Southwest, South Lenore. If confidence were a stat, how many points did Southwest gain last week?
Ooh, from 0 to 10, I would say 6.
Okay. Over or under 3 rushing TDs for the Stallions Friday night?
That's more.
More. Okay. Lejeune Pamlico, more total yards, Altizer or the entire Pamlico offense?
Ooh, entire Pamlico offense.
Better mascot, the Devil Pup or the Hurricane?
Ooh, Devil Pup.
All right. Bahrain Baptist and Liberty, over or under? Does Liberty have 40 points at halftime?
I think they do.
Okay. Who's more fired up after the win because of the playoff berth? Coaches, players, or the student section?
Oh, I would say the players.
All right. Cool.
Because the coaches are all,
The coaches are going to be cool, but when they get home, they're going to yeah. Your coach probably was excited when he got that first win, but I'm sure he probably was also like, he got home and you told your wife. I mean, you were excited, weren't you?
Oh yeah, no, you didn't have to wait until I got home. I was excited in the field.
That's awesome,
man. I was
man.
enjoying it with these guys. I was more excited. It's
For
great
them.
for me, but
You're
I was
excited for them.
and what they've been through. And I'd been here with them through most of it, but they worked so hard to not be that 23, losing streak.
Yeah.
They were changing their identity, rewriting the narrative. So I was super excited for them to get that chip off their shoulder. So I was excited. I was out here.
That's all. Look, man. Look. I'm excited anytime, whether you have a losing streak or whatever. Whenever you win, man. If you're not excited when you win, and if you're not upset when you lose, something's wrong with you. You shouldn't be playing. So anyway, that's all I got. You got anything else for the coach?
No, just one more thing out of Swansboro. I know you guys have won 2 games. Didn't win a game the last 2 years, but there's still a lot to play for because with this new setup and everything, if you still have some play, a playoff berth on the line, and with the new realignment, so Swansboro still has a lot to play for the next couple weeks.
We got goals we're shooting for. We're nowhere near done. These guys there's no quit in them anyway, so it doesn't matter if there wasn't a playoff berth on the line for it. They are just playing for themselves and as a team, and just go after their first initial goal was to finish this season strong and start the season strong. We've already established the start. Now we're going to finish.
That's awesome. One more thing before we say goodbye. It was reported last week, area East-West game selections. Yondez Baker from Jacksonville. We also have Riley Robinson from Croatan. We also have Jackson Henry from Jacksonville and Sean Davis from East Duplin. And then we do have a coach, Pat Bird, who would coach at Richlands for a while, now back at Jacksonville as an assistant coach. Is he offensive coordinator?
Yes, he's offensive coordinator.
And Pat will be on the East staff. So congratulations to those guys. That's quite an honor.
And one more thing, Lejeune football does play Thursday night.
Playing Thursday night instead of Friday night. Okay, great. So that's going to wrap it up for Down East Prep Report Show with Chris Miller, brought to you by Marine Federal Credit Union. A big thank you to our special guest, Kevin Till, and Coach Rodney Beasley from Swansboro. Guys, thank you so much. You guys, you're awesome. You're going to go places, man. Not that me telling you that means anything, but you're a good kid. In the last hour or so that I've spent with you, I can tell you got your head on your shoulders right. And and something else I can tell you, if you didn't know it, this man right here thinks a lot of you, and that's important. That's important to have that relationship, not only because you're the quarterback with your coach and office coordinator, but just to have that relationship with adults at your school. That's that's important. And of course, big thanks to Chris for all his predictions, making people happy and sad and mad and all that stuff. Thank you for your for the matchup. If you've enjoyed the show, whether you're watching it now or later, I encourage you to start following the Man Cave Media Network on Facebook, or if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to do this right down there. I'm pointing to the lower right-hand corner. There should be a subscribe button. You can click there, and you'll be notified when the show hits the air. Again, thank you to our show sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union, where you're more than just a member. You're part of a community. Visit marinefederal.org to learn more and discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. Same time, same location next week. We'll have a full recap of this week's actions. We'll have our Player of the Week brought to you by Down East Heating and Air, and we'll have we'll preview Week 11 matchups. That's crazy. Week 11 playoffs. 4 weeks away. 3 weeks away. Is that right?
2 weeks.
2 weeks away. Wow. Week 11 matchups, and we'll have the Game of the Week with Golden Corral sponsoring that Game of the Week. So for Chris Miller, I'm Steve Goodson. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you under the Friday night lights.